I'm Sergeant 126U, and today we're going to talk about dispersed camping and overlanding when using a vehicle. I'm going to make a few suggestions and recommendations that might help you come home in one piece from your trip. We like to play in the wilderness, but sometimes Mr. Murphy has a vote too, and things don't go according to plan. When that happens, it's up to you to extricate yourself and others out of the problem. Failure to do so in a timely manner could mean the loss of property, injury, or even death. So let's get to it. Recently, there was a local couple who took their Jeep up to the mountains to explore the area in the fresh snow. The snowy conditions continued to deteriorate, and the couple was unable to get out on time. They actually went missing for a bit. Eventually, they made it out, but friends, family, and law enforcement, and even the adventure community all got involved. It could have ended in a deadly result. So what can you do to avoid catastrophic scenarios that become a true survival situation? Simple. Prepare yourself and whomever is along for the ride. Preparation is the cornerstone for success. You should anticipate emergency scenarios and have a simple plan in place to address the problem. Spend the time up front to plan your trip and prepare your gear. If you've never done a task before, such as changing a tire on your vehicle, practice it in a safe and sterile environment until you can master it. Why would you do that, you ask? Sarge, why do I even need to do that? I'm good. Well, how about you learn the task in a non-stressful situation first, so that if you have to complete the task in a highly stressful environment later, you're not learning it for the very first time. Do you really want to be learning to change a flat tire in the driving snow and wind at night? No, you don't. Do you want to learn how to winch your vehicle out of a mud bog at night in monsoon conditions? Negative. So let's master those tasks and your gear before even going on the trip. Remember, the more you sweat in training, the less you bleed in combat. Location, location, location. Where are you going? Do you know? I hope so. Do others know? I hope so. Pass on your location and timeline to loved ones. Give them a mission brief of sorts. This can be even, email, text, whatever, but give them the information they need. You need to have some kind of navigational tools with you. I recommend a cell phone with Google Maps downloaded offline prior to your trip. It's portable and you can take it with you on foot when leaving the vehicle. I also recommend another GPS electronic device with downloaded maps of your area and maybe even outside of that area. I used an iPad mini with the Gaia GPS app. Works for me. I record my movement with that app, which creates a virtual breadcrumb trail I can follow if I need to backtrack. I use that feature to get us off a mountaintop at night in whiteout blizzard conditions where all the forest roads I used to get in were now buried in snow. I backtracked my recorded trail in and we made it out safely. So, do we rely on technology? Negative. We need to have redundant systems in place that don't rely upon battery life. Get yourself detailed paper maps of where you intend to be and have a compass with you. Know how to use them. Technology fails. Have a backup plan. Remember, 2 is 1 and 1 is none. Things fail. Redundancy, redundancy. I've had my iPhone fail and my iPad fail on me when I needed them most, for no apparent reason. No GPS signal, nothing. I used the built-in nav system in my Jeep at that point, which unfortunately was Plan C, but it did work. Make a trip plan with routes, dates, times, camp spots, involved personnel, and anything else you can think of. Coordinate with other personnel. Communication is key. Assign roles and responsibilities of the people that are going out in the caravan or the people that are in your group. Somebody has to be the group leader, and that leader needs an assistant leader. In military terms, the patrol leader or PL and assistant patrol leader or APL. That's what we're looking for here, just in a civilian setting. They're the decision makers, and they should be the ones with more experience and expertise in whatever you're doing. They should also have great leadership traits and be willing to lead. If you're all by yourself on a solo adventure, it's all on you. So be realistic with yourself and your capabilities. Don't be naive and don't get overconfident. Play it conservative when you're making your decisions. Very conservative. Use sound judgment and critical thinking here. Nothing should be done recklessly. Communication, comms, you need it. I'm talking about a way to communicate with your group and the outside world. Forget your cell phone. Get that out of your head. You're off the grid. It doesn't work. I recommend vehicle-mounted and portable radios. Have a couple different radios that can operate on different frequencies. I use a CB radio that's vehicle-mounted. Sometimes I don't. I also have a portable ham radio that has some range, has a little higher wattage, can get out a little further. I can also talk over GMRS, MERS, and FRS. If you don't know what any of that is, you need to get up to speed right now. I also use a Garmin InReach Explorer Plus. It's a portable GPS device that also features two-way satellite texting, so I can communicate via satellite to the outside world. I don't need cell signal, it's via satellite. It also has a built-in SOS emergency button on the side of it. If I press that button, it'll summon first responders to my location because all communication I have is tagged with the GPS coordinates. It's worth every penny, especially on solo trips. Also, have a comms plan if you're in a group. Sometimes you'll need to switch to a different frequency or band on the fly. Have an alternate freq that you can switch to over the net. Again, you need redundant systems here in case one or more fail. Have spare batteries with you and a way to recharge them. After you've planned your trip, you've organized the troops, and you've left a route plan with your family, and you prepared all your gear, prepared your vehicle, and stocked up on supplies, it's now time to go. Use checklists as needed before heading out. Do you have enough gas, water, clothing, food, first aid gear, and supplies to stay longer than you initially planned? You should. Expect to stay another 2 days as a safety margin. Does your planned campsite have dry firewood? Does it have fresh water nearby? What resources are there, if any? You need to know this stuff. You might need to live off the land a little. Now you're out in the wilderness and something bad happens. You get snowed in all by yourself. You're lost. You're alone. Do you have a bug-out bag? I hope you do. You should have a backpack that contains everything you need to survive for 72 hours in whatever weather you anticipated, and maybe a weather system you didn't anticipate. While explaining what to carry in the backpack is beyond the scope of this video, I'll list 5 mission-critical items you must have. Coming in at number 1, a cutting tool. This should be a small carbon steel bushcraft knife paired with a small hatchet or folding saw. Multi-tools are great too, but just make sure some of the steel is carbon. You'll need that for your ferro rod later. Coming in at number 2, a combustion device. You should carry 2 Bic lighters, because remember, 2 is 1 and 1 is none. We want redundancy here, right? Ultimately they're going to fail, get lost, whatever. Also have a ferrocerium rod and waterproof matches. Okay, if you don't know what a ferro rod is, hit up YouTube, learn what it is, learn how to use it, but you need carbon steel to use it. Number 3, cover. You should have a tarp or military poncho liner that can be used to make a temporary shelter. Pretty self-explanatory there, whether it's an A-frame, a lean-to, whatever. Again, YouTube is your friend. Coming in at number 4, container. Have a stainless steel bottle or container that can be used to carry water, collect fresh water, and boil water over an open flame. That's why we don't want it to be plastic, we want it to be metal so we can actually put it over an open flame and you can boil water to sterilize it if you need to, or melt snow or whatever you're doing, or cook in it or whatever. Number 5, cordage. You need to have cordage to tie things together and string things up. It's essential, especially when making a shelter using your tarp or poncho liner. I highly recommend military style 550 paracord. That stuff is outstanding. High tensile strength, it's a good size, it's flammable. You can take apart the inner strands, make fishing line with it, whatever. It's just all around excellent. If you don't have that, get some bank line. If you don't know what bank line is, again, YouTube. Knot tying, you better know how to tie some knots. I suggest learning a bowline, a trucker's hitch, a prusik, a half hitch, an alpine butterfly, and a double figure 8 knot. With these 5 items I just discussed, you can survive in the wilderness. You can make a fire, make a shelter, process water, process wood, hunt, and even fish. So those are the 5 C's of survivability I just gave you. And all of those items should be in your bug out bag. For now, that's going to cover it, folks. I hope I've given you a little to think about. This is in no way a comprehensive how-to guide. I just wanted to share a few things that have helped me avoid getting into bad situations, and also what helped me get out of sketchy situations. My Marine Corps infantry and law enforcement background has made me embrace the prepared mindset. Remember, when in an emergency, hope is not a course of action. I highly recommend you adopt the right mindset that works for you. I hope you enjoyed this video, and until next time, I'll see you on the trail.